What's up mga ka-Investa you? Welcome back to the InvestaUniversity program and I hope nag-enjoy kayo from our previous lesson, no? So this is the second part of our indicator series. So in this lesson, bibigyan tayo ng mga mas complex or mas advanced na indicators na pwede natin i-apply sa charting natin. So yung educators natin for today is si Kervin, which is our co-facilitator sa InvestaUniversity. And of course, Coach Jonathan. He's from PAFTI or Philippine Association of Forex Traders Incorporated. So without further ado, let's enjoy and I hope marami kayong matutunan from this lesson.
So, hello mga InvestaUniversity students. Ako si Kervin and I'll be your instructor today for the Fibonacci indicator. So, enough about that. So, yun, simula tayo. So, welcome again, InvestaUniversity students. So, for today, I'll be teaching you how to use the Fibonacci indicator. So, ito yung general outline of what I'll be discussing for today. So, simula tayo kung ano ba yung Fibonacci and saan siya nag-derive. Next is, I'll be teaching you how to apply it sa markets and ano ba yung purpose ng Fibonacci indicator, ano yung mga rules when using the Fibonacci indicator, and what you should not do when using the indicator. Also, I'll be showing you a few chart examples para mas makuha natin yung lesson for today. And I'll end it with a different perspective, at least on everything I'll be teaching you for today. So let's start. So what is Fibonacci? Balik tayo sa elementary days natin when yung math subject natin, tinuturuan tayo ng mga number sequence. So before, meron tayo mga counting number sequence, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And meron naman kung mas pinahirap, siguro mga grade 2 level. So odd counting number sequence lang. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And for the even number, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Pero sometimes yung exams natin, it gets a bit tricky, no? Na hindi siya classified under odd or even counting numbers lang. Sometimes there's a certain pattern on the number sequence na dinadagdag ng teacher natin just for us to, just to help us recognize yung sequence or yung pattern even better. So an example is yung arithmetic sequence. So pwede to for example dito 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. So kung mapapansin natin na yung sequence we add 4 plus 4 siya lagi. So yung sagot dito is 33. Pero under the arithmetic sequence classification kasi medyo madami yung possibility. So, pwede siyang plus 5, and it would still count under arithmetic sequence. Ngayon, let's go to the Fibonacci sequence. So, the Fibonacci sequence is you always start with 0 and 1. Actually, yun yung foundation. You start with 0 and 1. Pero anytime, anywhere, kung gusto nyo mag-start between two random numbers, pwede rin. So, 0, 1, when you add 0 and 1, so 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. Next naman, 1 plus 1 in last two numbers equals 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. 8 plus 13, 21. So I think nakikita nyo naman kung saan ako papunta, no? So explain ko nga, bakit nga ba naging Fibonacci sequence siya? Kasi when you keep on adding those numbers, so for example, dito, medyo mas malayo na tayo. 21 and 34 equals to 55 or 34 plus 55 equals to 89. Lahat yan, when you get the ratio, so 21 divided by 34, it's 0.176. Pero when you round it off to the three numbers, round it off to the nearest three decimal places pala, it always results into the magic number of 0.618. So tuloy-tuloy yan. When you get any two random numbers, tas you keep doing the Fibonacci sequence na ina-add nyo lang yung last two numbers lagi. Eventually, when you see the ratio, it would always lead you to 0.618. So ano ba yung significance nitong Fibonacci, no? So many believe na you can see Fibonacci everywhere. So what do I mean by everywhere? So ito pala is a graphic example. So, kahit palaki na ng palaki yung number natin, the shape would always remain the same. So, mukha siyang shell, no? And when I see you see the Fibonacci everywhere, yun nga, we have an example for that. Which is, one of the most famous examples for the Fibonacci, which is the conch shell or conch shell. Pero other than that, Fibonacci is also commonly seen in flowers, even parts of the human body, tulad nitong ear natin pala, human pala. Yes. Then ito, typhoon, and even in countries. Pero let's take it a bit more farther. So there's also a saying na our body is made of Fibonacci ratios. So a common example is yung kamay natin, ito. So yun nga sa picture, this is 1. Tapos yung ratio niya, if you times it, let's say 100 centimeters to, this is most likely 161 centimeters. So it's an approximate, pero that's at least how you can see where Fibonacci is. And one of my favorite examples for the Fibonacci is, yun nga, ito. Dito medyo naging curious din ako. I even tried to see if may ganyan ba. Pero enough about that. So let's continue. So yun nga, they say na Fibonacci are magic numbers, no? So dahil nga you see them everywhere in nature, people who use the Fibonacci indicator in the market believe na there are also a significant relationship with Fibonacci numbers and the market. And later I'll be showing that to you. So quick start lang, no? Itong first line natin, yan yung, at least for the basic part, yan yung mga common numbers. You don't need to memorize them kasi later I'll show you kung paano siya magagamit. Ito naman yung more advanced. You don't need to take notice of this now, pero I'd just like to put it out for everyone to know that there are more things than just 0 to 1 sa Fibonacci. So what is the Fibonacci indicator? So the Fibonacci indicator is a range indicator kung saan kinoconnect yung significant, where you connect 2 points, a significant low and a significant high of a trend, then you identify significant prices in between. So ulitin ko, no? So you connect 2 points, a significant low and a significant high, then yung price range in between, you find significant price levels kung saan possibly mag-react yung market more often than not. So ito yung itsura niya when you apply it sa market. So basically in understanding yung logic dito is, for example, the price here is at 1, tapos dito the price here is at 100. So if yung price natin umabot siya ng 50 pesos balik, meaning the price retraced at 50%. If yung price natin bumaba below sa 618, meaning the price retraced 61.8%. So pag nag-retrace siya 61.8%, more or less nasa around 38 pesos na lang siya. So ano nga ba yung mga significant numbers sa Fibonacci? So if beginner ka pa lang, I'd recommend you start using 0 to 1 muna. So for 0 to 1, commonly price often reacts in 618 and 382. So pinakita natin kanina na 618 is the magic number kasi yan nga yung ratio ng Fibonacci sequence. So saan ba natin nakuha yung 382? 382 is yung other counterpart ni 618. So when you add these two, it will result to 1. C236 and 786, medyo advanced yun kung paano siya nakuha. Pero it's still part of the sequence. C0.5, it's not really a Fibonacci number. Pero when trading with the Fibonacci indicator kasi, 0.5 usually is also a significant level due to, yun nga, half siya ng presyo ng whole trend. And at the same time, basically half siya. So, di nyo kailangan ito i-memorize, no? Kasi pag nagpa-plot kayo ng Fibonacci indicator, lalabas lahat yan. So, what are the key uses of the Fibonacci indicator? So, the Fibonacci indicator usually is for identifying possible support and resistances, sometimes in not so obvious areas. So, what do I mean by this? So, ito, for example, Fibonacci as a support. When you plot si Ayala from here to here, so in this one small uptrend, then nung bumaba siya to 618%, I mean retrace at 0.618, nakita natin na price reacted and continued the trend back higher. So naging support siya here, even so hindi siya gano'ng obvious sa price chart. Hala, wala naman gano'ng support dito. Wala naman kandila tumatama dito, pero bakit siya nag-bounce dito? So that's one way of using Fibonacci as a support. And another is Fibonacci as a resistance. So sometimes, pag pabagsak yung stock, i-plot natin yung whole trend. No? So for example, ito si Bloom. Dito sa taas, up to dito sa baba, that's your whole trend. Tapos nag-bounce siya, medyo significant yung bounce. Tapos ikaw as a trader, hindi mo kasi sure kung hala, hanggang saan ba yung presyo nito or kung possible ba mag-breakout to. Pero before mag-breakout siya sa pinaka-significant na resistance, you can also use the Fibonacci to identify potential key resistance levels din. So kung dito nag-reject siya sa 786 and dito nag-reject ulit siya sa 786, you can see na medyo significant resistance nga si 786 levels for using Fibonacci as a resistance level. So kung mapapansin nyo, no, dito hindi siya sakto tumama sa 786 and dito hindi rin siya tumama sa sakto 786. Later, I'll be teaching you how to understand it better para hindi tayo na-shake out lagi sa stocks. So dito naman, how do you use the Fibonacci indicator? So ngayon, before, kanina pala, tinuro ko sa inyo yung concepts na ano nga ba yung purpose ng Fibonacci indicator. But this time, I'll be teaching you how to use it on your own. So para kahit kayo, na-apply nyo siya sa charts nyo when you do screening. So yung first step is always to spot 2 points. 2 points meaning a significant high and a significant low. So usually, any trend siya, no? Kahit hindi naman siya sobrang laking trend. Ito, for example, yung example ko kanina as a support. Medyo small uptrend lang siya, pero it was significant enough. So, yun nga, you first spot the significant high and significant low. So ito yung significant low, ito yung significant high. Then, for the step 2, is you use the Fibonacci tool. Fibonacci tool, kita siya dito sa under left side. Meron tayong tool section. You click the second one. Tapos dito, madami tayong klaseng Fibonacci. Pero I'll be teaching you the Fibonacci retracement. So ito, naka-star siya. So hopefully, mahanap niya siya, no? Pag linagyan niya siya ng star, may easy access na rin kayo dyan sa tool na yan. Then next, nahanap na natin yung significant high and significant low. So, i-connect lang natin yung 2 points using the Fibonacci tool. So, when you're plotting the Fibonacci tools, madami kasi nalilito sa simula eh. Hala, paano ko ba i-plot to from where to where? Pero upon studying the indicator and personally using it, I always plot it from left to right. So, for example here, left to right. So, kung nauna si significant low, siya yung nasa left, tapos si significant high naman. Alternatively, kung baliktad naman, ito yung example natin kanina, nauna si high bago si low, significant low. So, you plot it from left to right. Sometimes ako, itong point, hindi ko siya inalagay sakto dito. Sometimes I extend it, pero as long as yung bottom line is match sa price, para nakikita nyo kung saan nga ba talaga nagre-react yung presyo. I mean, at least on the advanced price candles. Sorry. Then, yun nga, ito yung pinakita ko kanina na, again, from left to right. Left to right yung plotting natin lagi. So, a general rule, no? So, if you're plotting it from low to high, or for this example, low to high, the purpose of the Fibonacci tool is to find support. So, dahil nga nag-form tayo ng uptrend, we're looking to kung saan possibly mag-retrace yung price before it continues the trend up even higher. And likewise, kung sa resistance naman, when you're plotting it from high to low, so dito, high to low, you're always using the Fibonacci indicator to find resistance. So, concept lang nito is, yun nga, bumagsak yung market. Pero kasi the market doesn't move in one single direction lagi. So, babagsak yung market, tapos posible na may konting up spike before siya mag-continue ng downtrend. So when you find that up spike, hahanapin nyo kung saan nga ba pwede mag-reverse ulit yung market to continue its downtrend. So, quick question, no? So, should I plot yung Fibonacci sa high ba ng candle or sa closing price? There's no solid rule dito kung ano yung way of plotting nyo. Kasi some people believe na yung closing price is more significant than the actions that happened within the day. Pero personally, I choose to plot it sa low talaga. Low and sa high talaga. So, and sa kandila, kasama yung taas. So again, it's up to you if what you'd like, what you see is more relevant to your trading style. So ito pala, discuss ko lang before you apply what I'm teaching you now. So when you plot the Fibonacci, pwede nyo siyang i-press. Turuan ko kayo ng Fibonacci settings para at least hindi siya nakakalito sa first part. So when you press itong gear icon, so parang settings tool yan. So, easy lang. So, make sure lang na naka-check lahat ng items from 0 to 1. Tapos, i-off nyo muna yung mga numbers above 1. So, at least that's how you can use Fibonacci support as a support and as a resistance. Earlier today, tinuro ko sa inyo paano nga ba gamitin yung Fibonacci indicator. So, ngayon naman, I'll be showing you some of the caveats kung paano nga ba dapat hindi natin ginagamit yung Fibonacci indicator. Again, hindi dapat So, do not apply this. I'm teaching you ano nga ba yung mga dapat natin iwasan. So, the first thing is you should not use the Fibonacci indicator as your primary indicator. It should always be a complementary indicator. So, what I mean by this is yung magic number na yan, it won't always work. It will always still depend on how price reacts to that magic number. So, kung bumagsak ka ng 618 pero wala naman buyers or wala naman buyers, bakit magre-reverse yung price, no? So a good way to complement it with other indicators is, for example, ito, si Ayala, kanina ko pang example sa inyo. So kanina, pinpoint out ko na, okay, si 618, parang wala naman siyang support dito, no? Pero if you're also using the MACD indicator, meron talaga people who uses this indicator. Makita nila, malapit na yung presyo sa 618. Okay, tapos nag-form pa siya ng reversal pattern. Tapos si MACD magro-cross pa. So for them, that's, this is one way of using the Fibonacci indicator to complement your setup. So kunwari, walang Fibonacci indicator, wala yung mga magic numbers na yan. So makikita mo lang, may reversal pattern, saka pa-cross si MACD. Pero when you have the Fibonacci indicator, at least you can expect it coming. Meaning na, okay, dito nauntog dito nag-end yung trend ni Ayala. Okay, nagre-retrace si Ayala pabalik. Pero kung nasa 382 na yung presyo, magfo-focus ako. Tingnan ko kung may significant reversal patterns ba. Or magro-cross na ba si MACD para may trading plan ako to buy the stock. Okay, so nakita natin na hindi siya gano'n nag-hold sa 382, bumagsak ulit siya. So yung next level na babantayan ko is yung 618 level. So sa 618, saktong-sakto, nag-form siya ng reversal pattern, saktong-sakto, ang ganda nung cross ng MACD. Okay, bibili ako pag nag-hit siya ng 618. So this is how you should use the Fibonacci indicator. Hindi yun, wala kang MACD, wala kang idea anything about price pattern. Manghuhula ka lang, okay, bibili ako sa 382. Okay, napakat ako. Tapos bibili ulit ako sa 0.5. Okay, kala ko magic number na yun. Tapos babagsak pa siya ng 618. Tapos parang wala lang, 618 lang. Yun lang yung only reason mo bumili. And that's, kung ganito yung style mo sa Fibonacci, talagang masishake out at masishake out ka. So another is using it on micro trend. So itong example, hindi pa nga siya sobrang micro. When I mean micro pala, usually when you apply it sa smaller ranges, mga daily ranges lang, kung pumunta ka ng mga 1 hour or 15-minute charts. Pero for example, ito. Okay, nag-plot ka dito sa left side. Itong left side, no? Nag-plot ka. Na parang, okay, significant na siya, 786. Pero kasi kung nag-plot ka ng ganito, ang hirap hanapan siya ng complementary support other than yung Fibonacci. Tapos pag nag-zoom out ka naman, parang ang liit lang ng trend na plinot ko. Which is, more often than not, magkakamali ka sa plot ng Fibonacci and at the same time, mas shake out ka. Kasi paano mo ba masasabi na, okay, ito na nga ba yung significant high niya talaga? Bakit hindi ito yung significant high? Bakit ito? So those are some of the questions you'll be asking yourself. So if you're still new to the Fibonacci indicator, I highly suggest talagang you plot it on a much bigger trend. So, yun nga, that's it for at least lesson part natin ng Fibonacci indicator. So, ngayon, pakitaan ko kayo ng chart examples para makita natin paano nga ba talaga siya ina-apply. So, punta tayo dito. So, yun, medyo red si PSEI today. So, hanap tayo ng stock na alam ng lahat. So, for example, si SM. So, CSM, zoom out tayo. Okay, so may makikita tayong good trend dito. Or at the same time, pwede rin ito kung we're finding resistance. Let's try yung resistance. So, plot tayo dito. Significant high to significant low. Okay, so makikita nga natin na nagre-reject yun si price at 786. So this is one way of using the Fibonacci indicator, again as a resistance. So bukod ditong Fibonacci 786 resistance, makikita rin natin dito, no, previously. May resistance dito, may resistance dito. So again, kung hindi nyo pa alam saan si Fibonacci, nandito lang siya sa left side. Ayan, Fibonacci retracement. So bigyan ko pa kayo ng isang example. Sino pa ba? Si Ayala, kanina ko pang example. Let's say BDO naman. Si BDO. Again, let's try to plot prices, no? Since medyo nag-crash yung market nung March, talagang makikita natin na yung primary use ni Fibonacci indicator ngayon would be finding resistances. So, significant high to significant low. Here, makita natin. Okay. So, very unlikely na kung nag-hit tong significant low, masasabi yung kaagad na significant low na yung price. So, usually, mag-bounce siya. Tapos pagbaba, tapos may nakita ka ng reversal dito, and let's say, plano mo bumili and hindi mo pa alam saan dapat magbenta. Again, you can use the Fibonacci levels. So dito, nakita natin na nag-hold si 382 or almost si 0.5. Nakita natin na, okay, so baka potentially significant resistance na siya, which nangyari dito. Again, sa Fibonacci, talagang masishake out ka if talagang isusundan mo yung price na yan, no? Yung price na nakalagay dito, tick by tick. Again, range indicator siya, so hindi meaning dapat pag nag-retrace siya, hindi siya sakto lagi sa 618. Posible bumaba pa siya konti before siya talaga mag-retrace. Ang important is nakabantay ka kung nag-approach na yung price at 618, 382 levels or even yung 0.5 and see if may talagang price action or reversal patterns pala, I mean, na magko-confirm nung reversal and yung magic number na. Next, pakita pa ako ng isang example. Sino ba? Let's say si Mac. Ito yung pina-assignment namin sa inyo, guys. So, ito, pwede siyang two ways. So, pwede kang from here, significant high to significant low. Okay, wala pa siyang ganong makikita. Si 236, resistance siya pero not so significant. Pwede niyong bantayan din. Okay, so wala pa. What if mas mag-zoom in tayo? Zoom in tayo. So ito, I can consider it as a small uptrend. Diyan, pwede tayo mag-plot ng price if may support tayo makikita dito. So, significant significant low to significant high, meaning we're finding support. Dito makakakita tayo na nagre-react siya nung sa 618. Unang-una naumbog siya sa 618. Then it formed a little lower. Tapos actually medyo parang small head and inverted head and shoulders na nga siya eh. So medyo significant reversal pattern plus yung 618 magic number natin. Yun, by following this, talagang mas you improve your edge and your probability when you trade the stock. So again, few rules lang lagi when you plot the Fibonacci indicator. So always from left to right. A general rule is if you're plotting it from low to high, you're finding the support. And when high to low, you're finding the next resistance. So balik tayo sa lesson natin.
Hoy, Mars! Sabi, balita, ang dami mo daw pera. Sugar daddy yan, no? Walang ganun, Mars. Ay, hindi. Nanalo ka sa loto. Walang ganun, Mars. Pawiran yan for sure. Sa Investa Cup to, Mars. Nag-double up pass ako para maging qualified sa bonus pot. Ngayon, over 1 million na ang prize pool. Tapos ayun, may araw-araw na pa-raffle, books, mentoring program, at cash! Wow! Pwede ba pagsumali, Mars? Oo naman! Registration is open until October 4. Ay, tara, sali tayo! Sali ako! Sali tayo, mga Mars!
So next naman, ano yung closing message ko sa inyo? So a different perspective. So again, earlier na-mention ko na hindi siya, it's not to be used as a primary indicator. Meaning, sometimes, si Fibonacci kasi it's just a guide kung gaano kalakas ba yung price, kung kailan siya most likely magre-retrace. I mean, kung kailan siya most likely magre-reverse pala, I mean. Pero, di naman, yung 618, yung 0.618, hindi naman siya yung magic number na laging, ay, okay, ito talaga yung pinaka-solid Fibonacci price na kung saan magre-reverse yung stock. So, it's just a higher probability than normal. Pero again, it's still a guide. Kailangan nyo siya i-complement with other indicators and whatnot. Ito, natutunan ko lang from our CEO, si JC Bisnar. Personally, he doesn't use yung Fibonacci indicator kasi he has his own custom-made. So, yung custom niya is 25%, 50%, and 75%. So, yan yung style niya, no? So, and that's what works for him. So, yung logic niya lang dito is kung may range tayo or kung may trend tayo, as long as magstay yung price above yung 50%, for him, malakas pa yung trend. And that's what works for him. And it's also better if you find what works for you. Kasi sa trading naman, there are multiple styles. Usually, hindi siya nagre-revolve lang around your strategy. Most likely, how you form your strategy would revolve around your lifestyle, your knowledge in trading the financial markets, and depending on what type of market you're trading in. So again, that's it for our Fibonacci lesson. So I'm Kervin, and first time ko mag-appear sa InvestaUniversity as an instructor. So I hope may natutunan kayo. Again, PM me or chat me lang kung may question kayo. And I'll be more than happy to answer your question. So thank you for having me.
Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying so far and marami kayong natutunan sa session ni Kervin about the Fibonacci. Of course, hindi pa tapos yung lesson natin. Meron pa tayong indicators na ituturo ni Coach Jonathan. So for now, let's start our quick pop quiz. So all you have to do is comment down your answers below. So for the first question, what should you be avoiding when using the Fibonacci in your trading? So I'll give you guys 5 seconds to think and comment your answers below. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what you should be avoiding is to only use the Fibonacci in your trading. So like what Kervin said, pwede mo siyang i-complement with other indicators para mas effective yung trading strategies mo. And also, try to avoid using it in small or micro trends. So that's the answer. If you got that correct, congratulations. So for the next question, what is the magic number? So I hope alam niyo yung answer dito. Kasi if hindi, baka kailangan yung panuurin ulit yung video. So I'll give you guys 5 seconds to type in your answers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that's the answer, 0.618. If you got that correct, I'm sure nakikinig kayo kay Kervin. Okay, so for the last question. So what is the first step in plotting your Fibonacci? Alright, so I'll give you guys again 5 seconds to think and write your answers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the answer is to spot a significant high and a significant low. So if you got those correct, I'm sure nakikinig kayo and nag-enjoy kayo and marami kayong natutunan. So let's move on to the second part of this lesson.
Hi everyone! Welcome po dito sa ating session today with Investagrams and PAFTI. So yung topic po natin ngayon are two very popular indicators that I would say laging ginagamit sa market, no? Pero we don't really have a full understanding on what it is and what it actually does, no? Madalas po kasi nakikita lang natin siya already incorporated into a trading strategy. So we don't, fully really understand what it does individually, no? And then when we do understand what it does individually, then maybe later we can apply it better to our own trading plan, no? So with me here today, kasama po natin si Coach Alex Samson din po, no? So hello there, Coach Alex. He will be helping us throughout the whole session as well now. So we have two indicators here. Number one, Ichimoku Kinko Hayo indicator. Alam ko pong napakahirap i-pronounce siya sa simula, no? But to be honest, it's a very useful indicator, especially if you're following the trend, no, sa market. This goes for both stocks as well as forex or any financial instrument. Gumagana naman yan. Now, at the same time, we also have stochastic oscillator. So it's a momentum indicator that can help us see, if the momentum of the market is strengthening or if it's weakening. Tapos mamaya makikita natin yan kung paano gamitin ng maayos. No? We can check the current momentum in the market and also maybe spot some possible reversals in the future. All right, so let's check out our Ichimoku Kinko Hayo first. No? So ito po yung itsura niya. No? I know that there's like a lot of things going on with this indicator right here. And let me just break it down piece by piece. No? You actually have 5 lines with your Ichimoku Kinko Hayo indicator, no? So let's just call it Ichimoku na lang para simple na lang ang buhay natin, no? So you have here your blue and red line, no? You have there yan yung Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen. You have your cloud-like structure there that is actually comprised of 2 lines called your Senkou Span A and Senkou Span B. Plus you also have your delayed line which is called your Chikou Span. So isa-isay natin sila. This is actually what you're seeing right there. Okay, so the blue and the red line, yan yung Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen. And then the cloud-like structure that you're seeing there is actually made up of 2 lines as well. You have your Senkou Span A and B. Yung cloud po, that's actually the difference between the 2 lines, no? Yung, kumbaga, distance ng Senkou Span A at B mo. So, syempre, kapag mas malayo yung distance ng dalawa, mas makapal yung cloud. Kapag mas nipis lang yung distance sila, if they're closer to each other, then you would have a thinner cloud, no? Tapos, yung color ng cloud would also change depending on who's on top, no? If Senkou Span A is on top, then it would produce a green cloud. If Senkou Span B is on top of Senkou Span A, then it would produce a red cloud. Tapos mamaya magkakaroon yan ng mga specific type of analysis, no? So we'll go a little deeper into that a little later. Now, lastly, yung ating Chikou Span naman, that is what we called the delayed line. No? Normally, it is delayed. No? It is pulled back 26 periods, no, from the current price. Nasa likod yan. That's what we call the delayed line. And it just basically mimics the movement of price, but it's just being pulled back 26 periods ago. Now, your cloud-like structure, no, yung ang tawag natin dyan is Kumo. No? Kumo is cloud in Japanese. It is actually pushed 26 periods for. So, kumbaga, yung presyo mo nasa gitna, tapos yung cloud mo, yung Kumo mo, is pushed forward 26 periods. Tapos yung Chikou Span mo, yung delayed line, is pulled back 26 periods. That's why you have that kind of, picture, no? Kaya kita nyo, medyo nauuna yung cloud, tapos nasa likod yung isang linya, tapos yung dalawang linya nasa gitna lang. That's the reason behind. Alright. So, yung ano natin, no? Let's go one by one, no? Kung ano yung binibigay na analysis ng isa't isa yan. No? Now, your Ichimoku as a whole basically translate as in one glance, no? Ichimoku is just one glance, and then yung Kinko Hayo is just telling you yung balance ng market. So, ang point ng indicator in one look, dapat gets mo na kagad kung bullish yung market, bearish yung market, meron kang buy or meron kang sell signal. That's actually the gist of it. So, in one look, you'll be able to understand that. So, there are a couple of factors that we need to focus on. Okay? Unahin natin dyan yung nakikita nating Tenkan-sen at saka Kijun-sen. Those actually look like moving averages. No? Mukha silang moving averages. Mamaya, we'll show you some examples with charts. No? Ngayon, I just want to focus on the line for now so that we can, see it a little clearer. Kasi mamaya pag may charts, gugulo na yan. So, yung Tenkan-sen at saka Kijun-sen natin na yan, no, they are similar to your moving averages. But the computation is slightly different. That's why there are some lines there na medyo nagpa-flat out siya. No? But generally, it's the same concept. No? Moving averages siya. The red line is a faster moving average, while your blue line is a slower moving average. And every time they cross each other, that is where you get a buy or sell signal. Okay, tandaan yan, ha? Pag nag-cross sila sa isa't isa, that is when you get a buy or sell signal. Now, it doesn't work alone. No? Kailangan may mga ibang factors that the indicator is also telling us for us to be able to buy. No? So yung mismong trigger natin to buy and sell whenever those lines cross each other. But we also have to cross-check if the other factors agree with us. No? So ang next mong titignan is your cloud. No? You have to take a look at your cloud. Where is the cloud relative to your price? No? If price is below the cloud, then that simply means bearish ang market. If price is above the cloud, that means bullish ang market. Next is you have to take a look at the color of the cloud. If the color of the cloud is green, then that means momentum is on the upside. No? So, kailangan green siya para maging bullish yung market. So, pag magbabay ka, kailangan green yung cloud. Kapag red naman yung cloud natin, that simply means bearish yung momentum ng market. Then, yun yung signal naman natin, no, for selling. Alright? Now, lastly, yung Chiku span, that's the delayed line. What it simply says is that if the price 26 periods ago, no, if your Chiku span is higher than the price 26 periods ago, that means bullish yung market. Kapag yung Chiku span is below the price 26 periods ago, bearish yung market. No? So all of those factors have to come together before we're able to make a decision, no, pag magte-trade tayo. So I'm gonna summarize it into these very simple rules. Okay? So you have your buy and sell rules over here. No? Yung buy natin, ang kailangan po natin dyan is that your Tenkan-sen, okay, your Tenkan-sen has to cross above your Kijun-sen. Make it simple, your red line crosses above your blue line. Red line crosses above blue line. So that's your buy signal. After you see that signal, what do you do next? Yung next naman po natin is that you take a look at the position of the you take a look at the position of the price relative to the cloud. Price must be above the cloud, no? Kailangan nasa taas yung price. Next, the cloud must be colored green. Okay? So as mentioned earlier, kailangan yung momentum is on the upside, so it has to be a green cloud. And lastly, your Chiku span should go above the price 26 periods ago. So titignan mo yung Chiku span mo. Kung nasa taas yun ng price 26 periods ago, it simply says market. Now, with all those factors coming in together, that's when you buy. Okay? So let me repeat. Kailangan mag-cross si Tenkan-sen above Kijun-sen. Pag nag-cross yun, titignan mo na yung other factors before you buy. If price is above the cloud, check. If the cloud is green, check. If your Chiku span is above the price 26 periods ago, check, then you can buy. Alright? Yung mga take profit stop loss, mamaya, we'll talk about that. No? But entry rules muna tayo. Now, ano naman yung sell rules natin? No? If we're going to sell, it's basically the same idea, baliktad lang. No? Number one, your red line has to cross below the blue line, or your Tenkan-sen has to cross below the Kijun-sen. Next, your price must be below the cloud. Your cloud must also be red. And lastly, your Chiku span or your delayed line must be below the price 26 periods ago. Okay? So, yan yung 4 rules natin for a sell entry. Alright? Malinaw? Good. So, we'll take a look at some examples in a bit. Titingnan lang muna natin yung mga exit rules natin. So, our exit rules are fairly simple. Unahin muna natin yung stop loss. When do we cut losses? Number one, you can actually have several areas where you can cut losses. It's up to you. Okay, bahala. Which one you want to follow. But these are some ideal areas where you can put it. Number one is beyond the Kijun-sen. That means beyond the blue line. So pag lumagpas yung price, beyond the blue line, if it crosses there, then you can already cut your trade. That is the most aggressive exit that you can take. Normally, if you take that exit, you would have a very thin and very tight stop loss, which sometimes is good, but sometimes it's also bad. Kasi minsan pinipitik lang ng market, especially if there's a lot of things happening in the market. There's a lot of news, high volatility. Madalas napipitik yan. So if you want to be on the safer side, you may want to change it a little bit and move it beyond the recent swing high or low. Kasi ang market naman, before you take that buy entry or sell entry, titignan mo yung recent swing niya. No? If you're buying, take a look at the recent swing low. Below that, lagay ka lang ng konting breathing room, no? Maybe a couple of pips, 5, 10 pips away from the recent swing low. Pwede mo lagay doon yung stop loss before you buy. No? If you're going to sell, then you can place your recent stop loss above the recent high. Okay? Again, put comfortable 5, 10 pips, no? Depending on which pair you're trading, para hindi naman saktong-sakto. Baka mamaya umabot lang siya dun sa mismong level. Titikin yung stop loss natin, no? And you're out of the trade, pero tama naman pala yung direction ng market. So that sucks. No? Now, the most conservative area that you can place your stop loss is beyond the cloud. No? Yung titignan mo ngayon, di ba, yung price, let's say if it's going up, price is above the cloud. No? So you can place your stop loss beyond the cloud, sa ilalim pa ng cloud. No? Medyo malayo na yun. And to be honest, if you put it there, you have, less chances of getting hit, no, yung stop losses natin. But at the same time, ang taba ng stop loss natin, and the problem with that is that you're gonna have a lot of difficulty getting a good risk-reward ratio in the market. So I don't really recommend that, but again, it's up to you. The safest would be beyond the recent swing high and low. Mamaya, titignan natin sa market yan kung saan natin pwede hanapin. Okay? Now, your take profit, on the other hand, could be, dependent on several things. Number one, pwede po siyang 1:2 risk-reward ratio or 1:3 risk-reward ratio. What does that mean? That simply means that for whatever you're risking, you double that or you triple that. Yun yung target natin. Let's say you're risking 50 pips in that trade or you're risking 100 pips. You have to aim for double of that. If you're risking 100, aim for 200. No? Yun ang 1:2 risk-reward. Maybe you can even go 1:3 risk-reward if you believe that the market can really go further. Okay lang yun, no? Especially if you have a relatively tighter stop loss, like 50 pips stop loss, ang ita-target mo 150 pips, kayang-kaya, no? Lalo kapag nasa higher time frame ka. Alright? Now, the other way to exit the trade early is whenever your Tenkan-sen crosses your Kijun-sen again. Now, let's say you get a buy signal, your red line crosses above the blue line. And then midpoint, hindi pa umaabot doon sa ating 1:2 risk-reward ratio. Suddenly, they cross each other again. What do? When that happens, you just simply close your trade. Kasi yun in itself is already a sell signal. So our buy trade is no longer valid. Okay? Pag ganun, whenever they cross each other again, close your trade and just wait for another signal to come by. It's okay to close your trade pag ganun kasi more on parang hinihintay na lang natin na tsumamba tayo dun sa market, which is, not a very good thing for traders. No? Hindi tayo umaasa sa tsamba and we try to make it as logical, no, as scientific as possible. All right? So yun po ang ating exit rules. Now, let me give you some canned examples first, no, before Coach Alex shows us the charts, no, para makita natin yung current market ngayon. All right. So as you can see here, I know that there's a lot of things going on this slide. And like I mentioned earlier, tinanggal ko muna yung charts no? Ito muna yung tinitingnan natin. No? So, over here, makikita po natin that there's a lot of instances wherein our blue line and red line cross each other. No? So, I highlighted this area right here. This is when, clearly we have your red line crossing above our blue line. No? And when it crossed that, it was during this particular candlestick over here. No? After no candlestick na yan, dyan tayo talaga nagkaroon ng confirmation na buy signal yan. No? Now, when we get that buy signal, again, we take a look at the other conditions. No? Number one, you take a look at the price relative to the cloud. No? Price is above the cloud, check. Number two, is the cloud colored green? Check, that's a buy signal. Number three, is your Chiku span above the price 26 periods ago? Let's just assume that it is, no? Kasi hindi na yata abot ng 26 periods ago yung slide na yan. No? But if it is, then that's a buy signal. So all of those signals combined together gives you a good entry in the market. So yun yung mismong buy entry mo. Now, your stop loss can be placed in different areas. No? Number one, pwede yung below your Kijun Sen, okay, as you saw here earlier. Number two, your stop loss can be below the cloud. Or number three, it can be below the recent swing low. In this example, pareho yung natin doon sa below the cloud. No? So they gave us roughly the same level, so we have a stop loss there. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, then your Kijun Sen would already suffice, or your blue line. Okay? So in this case, hindi naman tinamaan either of those stop areas. And, the price merrily went up to our take profit 1:2 or take profit 1:3 risk-reward ratio, which can be indicated over here. Okay? Alright? So yan po yung paggamit natin ng Ichimoku Kinko Hayo. Alright. So we're gonna ask the help of Coach Alex over here. So I'm gonna change the slide. No? Sandali lang. All right, Coach Alex. Maybe we can check out Euro USD, no? Or GBP USD.
Hello everyone, good day. So yun, let's check. What's your suggestion, Coach?
Ayan, maybe we can check out Euro USD first. Ayan, thank you, Coach Alex. Very nice to hear from you. Okay. So, makikita po natin dito, no? You simply take a look at where your Kijun Sen and your Tenkan Sen cross each other. Okay? So, we have a couple of crosses that happened, no, from the start. And if you would notice, one of the best things about your Ichimoku indicator is that when the market is ranging, when everything is confusing, it doesn't give you any signals. So, if you check, every time the market crosses each other, no, starting from the utmost left side, makikita nyo merong sell signal yan where the cursor is actually ayan. So yeah, there you go. So that specific area, no, yan yung first time na nag-cross yung ating Tenkan Sen at Kijun Sen. And if you notice, it didn't really give us any good signal because the color of the cloud is green. Kailangan sell yan, so red yan eh. And if you check all those crosses there, hindi natin isa-isa yan, all of them would be invalid signals. But if you take a look at yung time na umakyat na ng konti yung market dito, no, you can see that really big green cloud over there. At the start of that green cloud, meron na tayong time, no, na nag-cross yung Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen, no, our red and blue line. No. It actually crossed twice. No, dalawang beses yan. You have your first time there. Yeah, exactly. And then there's another one just beside it. Yan, no? So for our first trade, that would have been a valid buy signal. Okay? That would have been a valid buy signal. And we could have easily entered the market with that. No? If your stop loss is, and so yung stop loss natin is just the recent swing low. So medyo malapit-lapit lang yung recent swing low natin. Okay? Yeah, that around that area. Okay. So your stop losses don't have to be like super exact though. May ano lang yan, kumbaga certain area. All right? So makikita nyo dyan that the market did go up, a very clear 1:2 risk reward, even aabot pa yan ng 1:3. No? So that's a pretty good entry for us. No? So dalawang beses actually ni-confirm yan. Now, you have, a lot of pips. Coach Alex, ilang pips ang ginalaw niyan from yung entry point natin hanggang dun sa time na nag-cross na ulit yung yung
That's almost 250 pips.
That's around 250 pips. Yung risk natin is around
100 to 120 pips.
All right. So that's not bad, no? So yun po yung tamang paggamit ng ating Ichimoku Kinko Hayo. Now, you can check it out on your own charts, no? Silipin nyo. Make sure that all of those conditions are correct, no? Yung mga specify natin na conditions before you make any entries. Now, what I do suggest is that you use this on higher time frames. No? Gamitin nyo sa D1 charts, gamitin nyo sa H4. Siguro pinakamababa na dyan yung H1 charts. No? Bakit? Kasi po, the indicator is a trend-following indicator, and trends tend to be stronger on higher time frames. That's why I do suggest it to be on higher time frames. Okay? Okay lang naman gamitin siya sa totoo lang if you go down to the M15, M5 charts, but the signals would be less reliable. No? So if you're just starting out with this particular indicator, simplihan mo natin buhay natin, go with higher time frames. Now, the drawback of this indicator is that it gives you very few signals. It gives you quality signals, but very few signals. So kailangan mahaba po yung pasensya natin dito sa indicator na to. Because if you see our entry right here, napakaganda ng market ngayon sa Euro-USD, but if you take a look at yung history, no, ng ating Euro-USD, just looking at this chart over here, ang daming signals na lumabas, but most of them, actually all of them, were invalid signals. So, ang tagal bago tayo nagkaroon ng signal sa market. So, kailangan mahaba yung pasensya natin kung ito yung indicator na gamit natin. Again, quality signals, but not very many trade calls. Alright? So, how about stocks? No? Para naman medyo pareho tayo. Coach Alex, can you think of any particular stock you want to check out? Yung mga automatic na binibili mo. Alright, so you actually have a very nice entry point recently sa dito. Ayan, meron dito. So if you take a look at if you take a look at the price, no, meron pinaka-recent na ano nila, nag-cross yung dalawang linya, no? Yan, so there you go. All right. I think baliktad yata yung color natin ng ano, no? Baliktad yata yung color natin ng Ichimoku, no? Ngayon ko lang yata
napansin. Yeah. Mukhang baliktad nga. Sorry.
Anyway, let's change it so that hindi masyadong confusing. Yun. Alright. So that looks nicer now. Okay. So anyway, looking at this, meron tayong recent yung pag-angat nung red line natin, no, above the blue line, no, or green line, your Tenkan-sen above the Kijun-sen over here. And makikita nyo po dyan that the trend has actually followed it, no? Starting from nasa mga bandang 3, ayan, no? So makikita nyo yan, dyan banda, no? If you take a look at the candlestick over there, nasa ano na siya, above the cloud na siya. When they crossed each other, the candlestick was already above the cloud, and it simply followed the trend going upwards, no? So that would have been a pretty good entry for us. And as of now, Coach Alex, can we check kung meron na ba tayong ano dyan? Umabot na ba tayo 1:2 risk reward natin? Coming from the, kahit yung below the, ano lang, below the blue line lang, below the Kijun-sen lang. Yun. Alright, so actually, mabot na, no?
Actually, gusto ko na nga siyang i-close eh. Based sa portfolio ko eh.
Alright. So yeah, you already have a good 1:2 risk-reward ratio. Okay na yan, no? Happy na yan. So, as you can see, it works for both Forex as well as stocks. Anyway, I think we can move on now to...
Uy, dude, pare Chong. Balita ko may bago ka ng car, ah.
Yes, bro.
Who bought it for you, Orbs? AirPods mo?
Nope.
Who bought it for you then?
Nanalo kasi ako sa Investa Cup dati. There was more than 1 million in prizes to be won. And so using that, nakabili ako ng kotse.
Alam nyo mga dude pare Chong, sa Investa Cup 2020 kasi hanggang rank 100 mananalo ng cash prize. Tapos kung nandun ka naman pares, dun sa top ranks, at pwede ka manalo ng lifetime access sa Investa Prime Elite. Di lang yun, meron ka pang mga subscriptions. It's open journal tsaka sa PAFTI. Tapos pwede ka rin manalo ng account with RCBC Security sa may 20,000 pesos na withdrawable. Saan ka pa? Kaya sali na using the double up pass, mga dude pare Chong. Kita kits, bro.
Pwede ba ako sumali dyan, Orbs?
Oo naman bro, pwede ka sumali sa InvestaCup 2020. Registration was extended up to October 4. So, sana makita kita dun.
To the stochastic indicator. So, lipat naman tayo. Now, your stochastic indicator isn't really as difficult as your Ichimoku Kinko-Hayo. Kasi yung Ichimoku, talagang komplikado yun, no? So, totoo lang, if you guys are able to learn it in under 30 minutes, no, congratulations. It took me like days to get it. So, anyway, moving forward dito sa ating, stochastic oscillator, it's one of the most popular indicators around. And the problem with it is that people don't really understand how they're able to get the computation of that. Nakikita lang nila, no, uy, ayan yung stochastic indicator, oscillator, dalawa yung linya niyan. Kapag above 80, overbought. Kapag below 20, oversold. That's what people know, no, pagdating sa stochastic. But they don't really understand what it's trying to show us, no, saan nanggaling yun. So, we're gonna try to understand our indicator on a deeper level. No? So, ano ba yung stochastic oscillator niya? Now, if we take a look at it here, it's just basically two lines. So, meron kang isang parang solid line dyan, and then you have a dotted line as well. No? So, yung ating dyan, yung ating solid line na yan, if you want to be technical about it, that's your %K line, tapos yung isa naman is %B line. No? So, whenever these lines, yung solid line, yan talaga actual value. No? Yung nakikita yung dotted line, that's just a moving average of the solid line that you're seeing. Moving average 3 yung settings yan. But mamaya, we'll be able to show you that in a bit. Now, whenever they cross above 80, no, that means it's oversold. Whenever they cross below 20, that means, when they cross above 80, that's overbought. When they cross below 20, that's already oversold. Meaning, may chance na baka mag-reverse na yung market. Okay? Now, yung indicator natin na to, it's a momentum oscillator. Ang momentum oscillator, what it does is that it simply shows you the momentum of the market. Saan papunta yung market, no? Saan yung, kumbaga, pag-increase ng price, no? Is it to the upside or to the downside? And what it actually does is that it compares the security's closing price to its price range over a period of time. Let me repeat that. It compares the security's closing price. So, titignan yung closing price. Tapos, i-compare niya yun sa price range over a particular time period. So, ibig sabihin, kanwari, tingnan natin yung closing price ngayon, and then, tingnan natin for the past 7 days, no? Ano yung range ng market? Ano yung pinakamataas? Ano yung pinakababa? No? It compares your closing price relative to that range. Yun yung ginagawa talaga ng stochastic oscillator. So, what it does is that it follows the speed and the momentum of price. So, tinitignan niya, no, medyo nasa may high side ba ngayon ang closing price lagi ngayon relative to that range, or nasa may low side ba siya relative to that range, no? Bumibilis ba yung paglapit niya dun sa baba, or bumibilis ba yung paglapit niya dun sa taas? Yun po ang ginagawa ng stochastic oscillator. It follows the speed and momentum of price. But it does not follow the price itself. Oo, kung makikita mo na yung stochastic oscillator, it kind of mirrors your price. But to be honest, it doesn't follow it. It has its own computation. Okay? And neither does it follow volume. So, walang volume na pinag-uusapan sa stochastic oscillator din. Alright? Now, when you put out your settings for your stochastic oscillator, ito po yung ating settings dyan. No? You have your %K, no? And then you have your %D, tapos nandyan yung slowing, no? Yan yung ating moving average niya. No? Now, whenever you have your stochastic oscillator, ang default settings niyan talaga is 533. Normally, no? Whenever you have any charting platforms, madalas 533 yan. But the real settings of it is 1433. The person who made it, ang talagang settings niya ay 1433. Okay? So, it's up to you. You want to use 533 or you want to use 1433, your call. But I suggest you go with the classic one, the 1433. Now, if you take a look at your stochastic oscillator, it actually has a separate window from your price. So, unlike yung Ichimoku natin kanina, meron siyang separate window at nasa baba yan. Okay? Now, whenever you take a look at your price over here, makikita nyo po na yung stochastic natin, it mirrors your price, and banded yung indicator natin. No? What do you mean by banded yung indicator? Ang banded indicator, ang ibig sabihin po niyan is that there is merong limit, no, na pwedeng puntahan yung stochastic. It is in between 0 and 100. Kahit anong mangyari, kahit anong presyo ang lumabas dyan ng price, no, kahit gaano siya gumalaw, your stochastic oscillator will always produce a level within 0 to 100. Okay? Now, yung default, levels yan for overbought and oversold is 80 and 20. If price is above 80, that means it's overbought, masyado ng maraming bumibili, at baka mag-reverse na siya pababa. If the price is below 20, that means it's oversold, masyado ng maraming nagbebenta, pwede na siyang umakyat from there. So that's the classic way of understanding our stochastic oscillator. Now, here are some very simple rules on how to follow the momentum of the market. No? So number one, kung bullish yung market, ito dapat yung conditions na nakikita nyo with your stochastic oscillator. Your stochastic has to come back from oversold to above 20. Ibig sabihin, nag-dip down siya below 20 and then umakyat ulit siya above 20. It has to come back up from 20. Bakit? Hindi po ibig sabihin na yung stochastic natin is below 20, automatic oversold na siya at aakyat na siya. Sadly, that does not happen, and majority of the time, kapag nagtitrend talaga yung market, sinasagad pa niya yung oversold level bago siya bumawi ulit. No? So you want to avoid that scenario. So make sure that your stochastic comes back up from 20. Okay? And when it does that, kailangan yung angle should be pointing upwards. No? Kailangan paakyat yung angle niya without reaching 80. Kasi pag umabot na ng 80 yan, it's already overbought. Okay? Now, on the other side, bearish ang momentum natin if your stochastic comes back from overbought territory, meaning above 80, and then it crosses back down 80. So similar to your bullish signal. And in addition to that, once it comes down from 80, your angle should also be pointing downwards without reaching 20. Kasi pag umabot na ng 20 yan, again, it's overbought. And, it's oversold, and tapos na yung signal mo doon. No? Momentum might change already. Okay? So that's your very simple rules on how to follow momentum. Now, aside from that, this is, I guess, one of the important ways to use your stochastic oscillator. There is something called divergences. No? And with divergences, you can actually check reversals with your stochastic oscillator. There will be a lot of times, no? Whenever price is showing you that it's going up, however, your indicator is showing you that it's already going down. No, merong pagkakaiba sila ng pinapakita, no? And that's called the divergence. No? May pagkakaiba, yung isa paakyat, yung isa pababa, they're diverging. Okay? So, whenever you have that type of scenario, what normally happens is that there is a reversal in the market. No? So, ito yung mga regular divergences natin. There's actually a lot of types of divergences, but we want to keep it simple when we're using our stochastic oscillator. Now, meron tayong dalawa niyan. You have your bullish regular divergence, and then you have your bearish regular divergence. Yung bullish regular divergence natin is that your price shows you lower lows while your indicator shows you higher lows. Okay? Let me repeat. Price shows you lower lows, and then your indicator shows you higher lows. This is what it looks like. Yeah. Okay? Notice there that price is going downwards. It's showing you lower lows. No? Yung mismong low niya, pababa ng pababa. Whereas your stochastic, it's showing you higher lows. Anong ibig sabihin yan? If you think about it, no, based on what stochastic is actually computing for, ang sinasabi nito is that the momentum on the downside is already starting to weaken. Humihina na po. And the momentum to the upside is starting to pick up. So ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon na ng pagkakaiba yung sinasabi ng indicator sa price natin. Kasi yung sabi ng indicator, paakyat na yung momentum niyan. Whereas yung price mo pababa pa rin. So that could be a warning sign for you that the price could actually reverse sometime soon. Yan po yung ginagawa ng divergences. No? So that's a bullish regular divergence. And if you see that, there's a possibility that the market may actually come up from there. Another type of regular divergence is a bearish regular divergence. Ito baliktad naman, no? It's a reversal sign na pwedeng bumaba na yung market. So what you see there is that price shows you higher highs, whereas your indicator shows you lower highs. At ito naman po yung itsura niyan. So this is actually what's happening with the euro right now. So we've spotted this a little bit early on. and there's a very clear divergence. See, price is actually reaching higher highs, but your stochastic fails to show the same thing. Humihina na yung momentum. It's already shifting to the downside. All right. So with that, you're actually able to spot a reversal very early in the market. Now, yung divergences natin, are they absolute? No, they're not. But they're a good signal for reversals in the market. And you may want to take note of divergences if you like to trade bounces and reversals in the market. Right? So, Coach Alex, let's check out some live examples. No? Check natin yung current market ngayon. All right. So, and so thank you, Coach Alex, for showing yung ano agad, no, Euro USD. And so very clear and true enough, no, talagang mabagsak yung market, no, kind of free falling to be honest. And we were able to spot that, you know, early on. Let's take a look at maybe pound against the dollar. Check natin. We're able to see some reversals early on. Okay. So, dito makikita po natin, no, yung recent reversals natin. Can you make a line doon sa ating stochastic if it did go down? I think it barely went down. Ayun, tama. So, it barely went down konti, no? So, early on, yan, meron na rin tayong divergence dyan. Okay. And yun, so thank you, Coach Alex, for indicating the other one as well, yung bullish regular divergence sa baba. Very clear, napakalinaw, ang ganda-ganda ng timing natin dyan sa market. And very clear, no? Umakyat talaga yung market from there. Alright. So, let's also take a look at stock siguro. No? Maybe we can check out a couple of stocks. Anong gusto nyo tignan, Coach Alex?
Right now, wala pa akong nakikitang na good na stocks na pwede mag-reverse. Hindi pa ako masyadong updated with the PSE. But let's try, ano ba madalas trade niya?
Try natin yung dito kasi we did see a little bit of a, you know, reversal there. Let's check kung binigyan tayo ng some sort of a confirmation with that. Okay.
Actually, dito, ito eh.
You know, you have a little bit of a regular bullish divergence. Ayun, no? So actually meron. So beforehand, ayan, no? Malinaw na malinaw, meron naman.
Ito yung reason kaya binay ko siya eh.
Okay. So mukhang packet pa yan. So as of now, ito po yung sinasabi namin na na overbought and oversold territory. If you compare yung price ng ating stochastic, yung level ng ating stochastic ngayon against the price, it's already above 80. That means price is currently overbought, no? Now, there's a possibility na tumuloy pa siya paakyat. Bakit? Kasi hindi pa naman talaga nagko-cross below 80 yung ating stochastic, no? So there's still a lot of, there's still a possibility that it might continue to go up, no? But once that thing crosses below 80, yun, baka medyo pababa na yung momentum ng market, no? And in addition to that, titignan din natin, no? Are there any current divergences? So maybe we can go down to a lower time frame from D1. Check natin. Maybe we can check H4 or H1. Let's see if we see some short-term reversals. Kung anong pwede mangyari. Okay, this is the 1-hour charts. A little bit, no? Merong konti. Makikita nyo, there's a bearish regular divergence. Just a little bit. Not very clear. Yan po. Just a little bit. And so, kumbaga sinasabi niyan is that there's already a possibility that the market may reverse. In addition to that, nag-cross na siya below 80. So, kung titingnan mo dito yung stochastic, it's telling you that the momentum is already shifting to the downside compared to the price. No? Yung price, sinasabi niya, paakyat pa yan. So, that is basically how to use your stochastic oscillator properly. No? So, you add it to your trading plan. You don't use it alone. Hindi kagaya nung ating Ichimoku indicator kanina that you can actually use it alone. But for this one, it has to come with other strategies, other price action conditions before we enter the market. Okay? So I guess that's pretty much it. I hope that was helpful for everyone. Again, thank you, Coach Alex, for helping us today. At ang bilis natin nakuha lahat ng mga indicators natin. Thank you again, Investagrams, for inviting us here. I hope everyone who watched this will have, a better way to analyze the market. Sana makatulong yun. At more importantly, sana kumita kayo dun sa mga pinag-aralan po natin. That's really the main point of it. Alright, so thank you everyone.
So that's it for our lesson today. Maraming salamat for tuning in. I hope marami sa inyo ang nag-enjoy at natuto. And before we leave, ano nga ba yung favorite indicator nyo so far? So i-comment nyo yan below kasi curious kami kung ano yung mga indicators na gagamitin nyo this point forward. So I hope natuto kayo from Kervin and Coach Jonathan. He is part of PAFTI and they teach Forex trading. So if curious din kayo and gusto nyo matuto ng Forex, i-check nyo sila sa investalearn.com. So that's it guys. Sana excited kayo sa next episodes and lessons natin dito sa InvestaUniversity. If you are not yet an official student, feel free to join and enroll. So that's it guys. Maraming salamat and paalam.
InvestaUniversity is an open U for you. Kaya we made the enrollment super easy. Bilang ka lang ng 1, 2, 3. 1. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All InvestaU videos will be uploaded here and also in InvestaLearn. 2. Like and follow our Facebook account. 3. Join our exclusive Investa group. I-search mo lang ang InvestaUniversity group in our platform. Then click Join. Read our short love letter for you and click Agree. Ngayon, estudyante ka na ng InvestaU. Ganun lang. Super dali.
Hi everyone, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and comment down below. And for more stock market and trading lessons, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to receive notifications.